So, while doing the Matrix, I was wondering what support is best for Galbrena and Lupa. Mornye will definitely enable Galbrena and Lupa to do more damage with Lupa's compatibility with Mono Fusion. However, we know that big numbers do not mean best in slot, as Galbrena and Chuyon can show big numbers, but lacks the DPS because our homeless man just takes too long to rotate. This was proven by this video over here. Shorekeeper's strength lies in her very short rotation after her initial setup rotation, ramping up the team's DPS, even if the damage numbers might be lower than Mornye. In this video, I will go through both simple 3-2-1 rotations and quick swap rotations for both teams and compare their scores. The testing was done against the round 2 Matrix Mimic, as can be seen in the video. For the testing, I've recorded the results of 3 perfect runs for each team and rotation method, with the condition of Lupa's initial liberation hitting a crit. The run with the best score for each group is the run you are seeing in this video. All characters are S0 or 1 and the general enhancement was used. You'll be able to check my character details at the end of the video. Throughout the run, I will be commenting on why I made certain decisions and common points of question. I've also added a keyboard overlay so that you can check what I'm pressing. You might have noticed that I will finish my third heavy attack chain on Galbrena before pressing Liberation, even when the Liberation is ready. This is because I know that I will not gain meaningful damage at the end of the run, even if I save that few extra seconds per rotation. Here, I might have been able to press Tune Break to kill the Mimic before Shorekeeper's enhanced intro, Discernment. However, I was not risking it because without Tune Break boosting units in the team, my Tune Break damage is very low, roughly only around 50,000, and Shorekeeper's Discernment is treated totally different from Liberations. Normally, if a boss is in the middle of spawning, you can cast the Liberation on any character, and the boss will spawn instantly without the spawn delay. However, Shorekeeper's Discernment does not spawn the boss, it only freezes time. Therefore, I still have to fully wait for the boss to respawn, and I will be missing out on Shorekeeper's Conservator energy gained from her enhanced intro, delaying the rotation. And that will mark the end of the first run, a simple 3-2-1 rotation with Shorekeeper. Next up, we have a 3-2-1 rotation showcase with Mornye. There really isn't something special for the initial rotation. However, right here, some people might go, wait, you Tune Break too early and you won't receive the full buffs from Mornye for Galbrena's rotation. Arrgh! Now take a deep breath and let me explain before you write a comment about it. Mornye's damage amplification only works on targets that have been affected by Tune Rupture or Tune Strain interfered. The information is written in the interfered marker section instead of the observation marker section, making it easier to miss. Since Mornye can only respond to both states of Tune debuffs and cannot apply them herself, she cannot activate her damage buff with 2 2.0 units on the team. Because of this, Tune Breaking the enemy as soon as possible is the way to increase damage for this team specifically. And that will bring up another question right here. Why are you not tomb breaking with Galbrena when you just said you need to tomb break ASAP? So this is where things get a bit rough for Galbrena. Galbrena unfortunately did not receive the blessing of Tomb Break, unlike Locke and Zani. When Galbrena Tomb Breaks, she resets her basic attack chain, starting from her first attack. As Galbrena has limited amounts of 4-day stacks to enhance her attacks, she must only use it on high damaging moves. You can barely fit in 2 sets of 3, 4, 5 basic attack chains in Galbrena's rotation, and basic attack 5 deals 111,000. If you Tomb Break in the middle of her enhanced state, she will not be able to cast basic attack 5 because she lacks her 4-day stacks. This means you're sacrificing 111,000 damage for roughly 70,000 damage, which is counterproductive. Therefore, in this case, as soon as possible will be when we swap to Mornye. Since I'm sticking to a strict 3-2-1, I did not cast all liberations at the end of the run in the name of science, but you definitely can do that and get at least 100 to 200 more points. That will conclude the demonstrations of SK and Mornye for the 3-1 rotation. Score-wise, there is a 266 difference between the two, so technically Mornye will perform better when you do a standard 3-1 rotation. Is SK garbage because of that? Not at all, but your most optimal team will be with Mornye. If you want to try and do the Matrix all day long, Mornye will definitely be able to produce even higher scores, since even in this run, Lupa and Galbrena missed a lot of crits. Once you get that one run with all crits, you will be able to gain massive scores. But that's gambling, and if you have rotten luck, you might be getting lower scores than the Shorekeeper team because you didn't crit at all. Now, let's move on to the quicksort rotations. Let's see if being sweaty can create a different outcome. This time, we will start with Mornye's quicksort rotation. We cast Mornye's skill before casting Liberation on Lupa to get that healing, which activates her Echo set, giving Lupa an attack buff. Some people might wonder why we're casting Liberation on Lupa before we create the Sentinel field with Mornye for more damage. This is because Mornye only has one quicksort window available. Lupa is played best when she can quicksort her animations, increasing the overall DPS. Since Mornye cannot be swapped after creating the Sentinel field, the best way to optimize the rotation was to lose out on some damage to shorten the rotation speed. Note that this moment, where tomb breaking after Lupa's enhanced intro is the fastest tomb break timing without griefing Galbrena's rotation, but it will cause Mornye to take extra time on field. We also miss out on Galbrena's 4th basic attack chain. This is why even if we lose out on Lupa's outro buff, we swap to Lupa to tomb break so that the rotation doesn't break.
一緒に行くぞ。録音分析完了。構造を上書きします。ついてこい。
逃がしはしない。私の手で地獄の門を開く。
消化しろ。
効果を燃やす。
燃やし尽くせ。
Here, I thought I could have cast 4th basic attack chain on Galbrena, but it failed miserably.
この槍に。吠えろ。希望の声を。最大出力展開。こちらの方が見やすいですね。ついてこい。
悪魔の登場だ。
And that will be the final score for Mornye Quickswap. For the final run, we have SK Quickswap. As the same as Mornye, we cast Shorekeeper's skill before casting Liberation on Lupa to get the Rejuvenating Glow buff. The rotation is smoothed from there, and as we did with Mornye's team, we will Tune Break by swapping to Lupa. The consequences are the same. By maintaining a consistent rotation, we can output more DPS than when we try to Tune Break on Lupa's enhanced intro.
消化しろ。
悪には悪を。起爆。
Here, you might be wondering why we are not using Shorekeeper's Discernment. Shorekeeper's Discernment deals 39,000 damage in total, while introing in with Lupa will only grant a 11,000 damage bonus. Even if everything else is factored in, it might not look worth sacrificing the discernment damage. But in simple terms, putting all the other complex rotation factors aside, it gets balanced out by Galbrena's 4th basic attack chain that can be cast because of the leftover time before Galbrena gets her liberation back up. That alone does 45,000 damage, and this cannot be cast when using Shorekeeper's Discernment because the rotation is slightly awkward and takes a second or two longer at minimum. I'm happy to be proved wrong, however. If there is a bit of rotation out there for both Mornye or SK, please tell me.
希望の声を。神聖を授ける。
トライ。
息ぴったりだな。
悪魔の登場だ。そろそろ終わりの時間だ。
食い尽くしている。
悪には悪を。
弱肉強食だ。
燃やし尽くせ。勝利を追い求めて。濁流を払いのける。たたえろこの身を。ニュール星の歌よ。
逃がしはしない。
一緒に行くぞ。もう終わりか。
この身私も示そう。
地獄の扉を。
起爆。
上落ちろ。
悪には悪を。
弱肉強食だ。
燃やし尽くせ。殺し合いの始まりだ。悪党は噛み殺す。集まれ光の炎。アドアストも。
悪魔の登場だ。
いい連携だ。ついてこい。
トライ。火を葬ってやろう。
宴の始まりだ。
効果を燃やす。
If I were to be given more tries, I probably could have cast that Lupa Liberation at the end too. So let's compare the results. The Mono Fusion team got 11,728, while the SK team got 12,152. When I counted the number of missed crits for the Mornye team, it was only 1, making it a miracle run. I've counted Mornye's Liberation, Lupa's Enhanced Intro, Skill and Liberation, and Galbrena's Enhanced Basic Attack Chain 3, 4, and 5. Therefore, I think it is safe to say that, when quick-swapped, the shortened rotation time on the SK team increases the overall DPS substantially, making her the superior support if you want to use the quick-swap. However, since Mornye deals damage while SK does not in this comparison, I will make a note here that if your Galbrena and Lupa are not Giga built like mine, and your Mornye is built, the results might differ slightly. So, in the end, do we have to stress out about SK or Mornye when planning out Galbrena and Lupa's team? I'd say if you want the best of the best team comp for them, then yes, Mornye for a 3-1 rotation and SK for quick swap to earn the highest points. That being said, if you have a roster where one support is required more than the other, I don't think you need to stress too much about giving them the less optimal support. For example, if you want to run Augusta Yuno and Sagrika Chuyan, they both synergize much more with SK than Mornye. In that case, give Galbrena Mornye. If you want to run Amith with the Lahai Roy engine and Homeless Look, give Look a roof over his head by giving him Mornye and give Galbrena SK. And there you have it. If you're still watching this video, thank you so much for sticking around. This is the first long voiceover video I've ever done, so I would appreciate feedback in the comments if you have any, or my content in general. Otherwise, thanks for watching.
"分かった。あなたがそう望むのなら